Hi everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Today we've got a brand new story to share with you, so let's begin. My name is Lucas Bennett. In many ways, I'm an average 33-year-old guy, one of 4 partners in a successful plumbing business. When this story begins, I am married to Elena, a stunning 32-year-old often regarded as a trophy wife. She works as a secretary for the owner of the local BMW dealership, and together we have an 8-year-old daughter, Maria. We own a house in a nice part of town and a summer home on a popular island in the Baltic Sea. Elena and I first met when I was installing the town's new central heating system at her parents' house. She was still living at home and in a foul mood, having recently broken off her engagement with a guy nicknamed Bumblasted. The reason? An enraged husband had caught him sleeping with his wife and shot him in the bare backside with a salt-loaded shotgun. Bumblasted was a notorious womanizer, but this time he had gone too far. His real name was Ryan Grant. His mother had been an au pair in California and returned home 4 months pregnant. She named her son Ryan, believing it was the first name of her handsome American lover, though it was probably just an alias. Eventually, she reunited with an old classmate, Elias Grant, a man she had ignored in school, but now saw as a convenient father for her child. Elias, once a shy and overlooked boy, eagerly embraced the opportunity to marry her, despite the obvious baggage. He legally adopted Ryan and, to everyone's surprise, their family flourished. They had 2 daughters and built Elias' small computer shop into a chain of 12 large stores, which they later sold to a multinational company. With their newfound wealth, they bought a grand countryside estate where Elias, his wife, and their daughters took up horse breeding. Elias adored his stepson and spoiled him rotten, giving him everything he had been denied in his own youth. As a result, Ryan became a cocky, entitled brat. Blessed with wealth and good looks, he was wildly successful with women, until he met Elena. For the first time, he was genuinely in love, but to his frustration, Elena insisted on saving herself for marriage. Ryan, used to instant gratification, saw this as an obstacle, but he played along, until his true nature betrayed him. After catching him cheating, Elena ended the engagement, plunging her into a deep sadness. I, wanting to cheer her up, asked her out on a date. To my delight, she accepted. We had a wonderful evening that ended at my apartment, where she confessed that she had decided to change her lifestyle, to experience the freedom her friends enjoyed. Perhaps as revenge against Ryan, she allowed herself to sleep with me that night. However, despite my best efforts, she refused any further dates afterward. Soon, rumors spread that Elena had embraced a wild party lifestyle, engaging in brief affairs, including, ironically, with some of Ryan's friends. Meanwhile, Ryan left town for university, continuing his womanizing ways but never quite getting over the fact that Elena, the one woman he had truly wanted, had denied him while engaged yet slept with his friends later. His bruised ego could not accept this. A year after our brief encounter, I ran into Elena again at a party. We reconnected, and she assured me that her reckless phase was over. As we spent more time together, our relationship grew serious. We officially became a couple and, 3 years later, married when she became pregnant with Maria. A few months after our wedding, I was working on a plumbing job for one of Ryan's old friends. He smirked as he told me, Bumblasted swore he'd sleep with Elena one day and make sure the whole town knew about it. The guy claimed Ryan had never failed in seducing a married woman when he truly set his mind to it. That wasn't exactly comforting news for a newlywed. When I confronted Elena, she promised me she would never give Ryan the opportunity to be alone with her, let alone act on his so-called vow. Over time, the warning faded into the past. Years later, we heard Ryan had married a wealthy Englishwoman and moved to England. With him seemingly out of our lives, Elena and I continued in what I would call an average marriage, full of its ups and downs. Then, like a bolt of lightning from a clear blue sky, it all came rushing back. It was a Wednesday evening, and Elena and I were sitting in our living room, watching the weather forecast. The presenter was delivering good news for the upcoming weekend when Elena suddenly turned to me with a serious expression. Lucas, I need you to listen. I have something important to tell you, I looked at her, a bit puzzled. All right, go on. Something happened today? No, not today. In fact, it's something from the past. Before you and I met, she hesitated. Do you remember my ex-fiancé, Ryan Grant? I frowned. Oh, you mean Bumblasted? Yeah, I remember him. The guy who got shot in the ass for screwing someone's wife. There are still rumors about that guy. Last I heard, he was still a complete scumbag. Why? Did someone finally shoot him again? Elena had gone pale. No, nothing like that. He lives in England now. But he recently attended an old friend's wedding here. That's where he met Gabriella Maria Eriksson. You know her, right? She and Ryan hit it off, and when he found out she knew me, he was curious. Asked a lot of questions about me. She ended up giving him my number. A cold chill ran through me. I knew exactly what Ryan had promised to do. I kept my voice even. Did he call you? Yes, she admitted. We've talked a few times. Reminiscing about old times. Old times? I scoffed. You were together for what, 3, maybe 4 months? He cheated on you. Hardly worth reminiscing about. You don't understand, she said, her voice pleading. We had dreams back then. I just wanted to talk about them. Dreams? That future was supposed to be behind you. What's the real problem? Elena hesitated before saying. He wants to see me. Of course he does, I snapped. He swore he'd sleep with you one day and prove it to the whole town. Kind of hard to do that over the phone. She flinched at my words, her face ashen. Don't be ridiculous. He just wants to catch up as friends. Nothing else. Fine, I said. Invite him over. We can have him and his wife for dinner. Elena shook her head. No, he's not coming here. He won a bonus week at a 5-star hotel in Ischia and invited me to go with him. His wife can't make it. She's afraid of flying. But she trusts him and has no objections to him meeting an old friend. I stared at her in disbelief. You've lost your damn mind. That's for sure. Please, calm down and listen, she pleaded. I've already accepted. I'm going. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You and I could never afford a place like this right now. Not with the expenses for the summer house. My hands clenched into fists. This was worse than I had imagined. And I knew, without a doubt, that the real nightmare was only just beginning. She was right about one thing. Ischia was the most expensive of all Italian holiday resorts, a playground for the rich and famous. But that didn't change the reality of what she was doing. My anger boiled over as I shouted, "Do you still love that damn creep?" Elena's face paled. No, of course not. I love you, and you ought to know that you are my only love. I scoffed. Is that what you call love? Running off to Ischia for a week of sex orgies with that horny, bum-blasted creep? No, no, no. Of course not, she stammered. Have I said a single word about sex? He hasn't demanded anything from me, and I haven't promised him anything. The truth is, I have no intention of cheating on you. I had enough of her bullshit. My voice rose. No sex? No cheating? Then why the hell do you think he's taking you to one of the most luxurious resorts in the world? Doesn't matter if he cons some sucker into footing the bill. If you think he's not planning to screw you every chance he gets, you're either lying or incredibly naive. And don't be surprised when his evidence pops up all over the web. She gasped, taken aback. Do you really see me as a 304? Just because Ryan earned a bonus week in Ischia and invited me since his wife couldn't make it? I'd have been crazy to turn down such a great free vacation. I sneered. Did his wife tell you this? No? Then yeah, I see you as a 304. And remember this. Once a 304, always a 304. You can never wash that reputation away once you're back home. Tears welled up in her eyes as she sobbed. You'll see. Nothing bad will happen in Ischia. Nobody will even know I'm going with Ryan. I laughed coldly. Nobody but me? You're out of your damn mind if you think I'll keep this a secret. Soon, the whole town will see your orgies, and my humiliation, on the web. Now, for the first time, real fear flickered in her eyes. The price of her free trip was becoming much higher than she had expected. She whispered, "Please don't do this to us. I promise I'll make it up to you when I get back." There's only one way to make it right, I said, my voice like steel. Take out your phone, call that bum-blasted creep, and cancel the trip. Do it now. Her lips trembled. I can't do that. And that was it. The final straw. My marriage was over. I felt a strange sense of relief as I muttered, "Then have a nice trip." I walked into the living room and poured myself a large glass of my best single malt whiskey. We didn't speak for the rest of the night. The next morning, she seemed to have regained her confidence. With a bright smile, she teased, "Do you still think you're married to a 304? I looked at her coldly. "Have you canceled your trip?" Her smile faltered. "No, and I can't." "Then yes, I still think I'm married to a 304. Her expression darkened. "Who cares about your opinion?" she snapped. We ate breakfast in silence. At work, I made a call. Clara Smith answered, sounding surprised. "Would you like to have lunch with me?" I asked. Clara lived just 4 houses down from us. She was the mother of my daughter's best friend and had dumped her cheating husband about 5 months ago. I had always admired her, not a trophy wife like Elena, but attractive in her own right. Over lunch, after some small talk, I leaned in and said, "I have a secret to tell you, but you have to promise to keep it." Her eyebrows lifted. "A secret? And what's the catch?" "No catch," I said. "In fact, there's a gift involved. I want you and your daughter to come with me and Maria to Euro Disney in Paris. All expenses paid." Clara narrowed her eyes. "What's the condition?" "There isn't one. Not before the trip, not during, not after. I just think it would be easier for me and more fun for Maria to have you two along." She considered my words carefully. "And what does Elena think about this?" "Elena won't care. She's too busy planning her trip to Ischia with her ex-boyfriend," I said, my voice dripping with contempt. "And I've decided to file for divorce." Clara went silent. After a long pause, she asked, "Can you tell me more about your plans for the trip?" "No plans yet. If you say yes, we'll plan together." An hour after lunch, Clara called me back. "All right, I'll come." That evening, she had already arranged a babysitter for her daughter, and we met at my office to start planning. I expected her to insist on separate rooms, but to my surprise, she suggested a family room so the girls could stay together. I had no objections. From that day forward, Clara and I spoke daily. We booked our flights to Paris, rented a car, and secured a hotel near Euro Disney. Meanwhile, at home, Elena and I barely spoke. The only difference was that I had lost all interest in sex with her. If she noticed, she didn't seem to care. One day, while I was at a gas station washing her car, I found a folder she had forgotten in the glove compartment. It contained printed pages from the Ischia Hotel's website and an email from Ryan detailing their flight itinerary and boat transfer to Ischia. It was almost like she was teasing me on purpose. Instead, it was the final proof I needed. My course of action was clear now, and soon, Elena would find out exactly what that meant. Elena had probably canceled her trip if I had given her the ultimatum: stay at home or divorce. But I didn't see any reason to offer her that last chance to save our marriage and the damn summer house. In my mind, she had already betrayed me the moment she said yes to Bumlasted's invitation to a luxury getaway in Ischia. She wasn't naive. She knew exactly what he expected, and she had willingly agreed. Yes, I was going on a trip with Clara, and I had assured her there would be no conditions between us. But that was an entirely different situation. Clara was single, and I had already signed my divorce papers when we left. What happened after our trip would be a matter for the future, not a betrayal like Elena's. Elena had no objections when I told her that Maria and I would be going to Euro Disney in Paris while she was in Ischia. She didn't ask about any details. Maybe we had both lost interest in sex, though for different reasons, until the last night before her departure. She was packing while I went to bed early. She tried to come near me, but I pushed her away. "Never come near me," I shouted. She flinched. "Oh my God. Please talk to me. We'll talk when we're back from our trips." She left early in the morning. Once I knew they were on the boat to Ischia,